In this video, I'm going to look at the Marshall Code 50. Hey guys, this is Dr. McFarland, and today I'm playing my Reverend Jetstream 390 with 3 P90 pickups. And mostly going to be playing on the bridge pickup. I might switch over to the neck or the middle just to try those out. But first of all, we're going to take a look at this pretty cool amp. A friend from church has let me borrow this for a few days so I could try it out, and I promised I would give it back. Alright, so I'm not very familiar with this just yet, but at face value I see we got gain, bass, middle, treble, volume, and master, which you can always use for the main amp settings. And then up here you got some other features like pre-effects, amp, mod, delay, reverb, power, cab, and then you can exit and store your presets. So there's all these different presets right here you could go through. And let me actually get out of here. Exit. All right, so there's exit, right? So you got all these different presets. And my friend said, hey, do not touch preset 1 because that's my preset. So I'm going to go to preset 2, and I'm just going to make this my own Dr. McFarland super duper preset. So first thing you gotta do, obviously you can go in here and you can adjust the gain, the bass, all the different things. I'm gonna keep the master down just for video recording purposes. So you can see we got preamp, mod, delay, reverb, power, and cab. So if I go over here and press preamp, it's going to highlight that preamp. And then if I turn the edit knob, you can see it goes from distortion. Actually, no. So the edit actually is scrolling back and forth between the different options here. So we want to stay on preamp. And if you push the knob, so you can see the screen changes there. Alright, so that's kind of interesting. Alright, so I'm going to press and hold. It says hold to edit right here. So I'm going to press and hold the pre-effects. And now that you see I got a distortion, and if I turn the edit knob, it's going to give me an auto wall, a pitch shifter, and a compressor. So I have a fairly clean sound right now. Let me turn off all the effects except for the amp and the power and the cab. So alright, let's say I want to make this pretty clean sounding. Alright, not too bad. Let's turn on the compressor. And we got ratio, compression. So if I press this knob over and over, it's just going to cycle through the different options. So let's go to tone. And let's say we want to raise the tone up. We can bypass it. You always want to bypass, so that way you can actually hear how you're changing the sound. Alright, not too bad. Let's just stick with the compressor right now. So let's have that on. Alright, if we go over to amp, I'm going to press and hold on the amp. And now it's giving me a blues breaker or a plexi, CR American, JCM 800, 50s British, OD Jumbo, OD DSL, OD American, Silver Jubilee. There's a natural amp. can also adjust the gate here. Notice how it cuts off. So that's mainly for the amps that you want, that has a lot of, there's an acoustic, there's a plexi. Alright, so I'm going to keep this pretty clean. And it's all fairly bright. So there's my bass sound without the compressor. And here's the sound with it. Alright, so let's not move down the line just yet. It says right here there's a tuner. So if I press and hold these two buttons, see my tuner comes up. So if I pluck, there's my E. I want this to go right in the middle. There's A, D, G's a little out. B, and E. Did it work? The only bad thing about tuners like this, and I have some other gear that has a similar tuner, is it doesn't give you the sense, which is actually telling you how close you are to the note. So you can be turning your machine head and it'll say it's in the middle, but you can keep turning it and there's really not a lot. There's a lot of play in the range of tuning. So let's press those two, let's see. Maybe not. Oh, exit. Okay. There we are. Alright. Let's go back to our amp, make sure that's right. Alright, cool. Let's go over to, let's do the reverb next. So I'm going to press and hold. You can see that we have spring, stadium, room, hall, and that's it. So spring, stadium, room, and hall. Let's start off with spring. And if I press the edit button, it's going to cycle through my different options. So I have decay. So I can crank that up. Okay. I'm just going to move that down. Alright, so there's decay. Here's the pre. It's probably like pre-delay. So any kind of pre-delay is always going to allow your initial transient to poke through without it being too wet. And then you got tone and you have level. Let's see what happens when we crank the level up. Alright, so the higher the level, the less dry signal you have. So usually somewhere around, if it goes from 1 to 10, usually a 5 will be, kind of equal dry and wet. So I usually want mine to be around in the 30% range. So you still got plenty of dry signal, but you just hear a little hint of, reverb in the background. Alright, very cool. Let's keep it like that. It's not bad. Actually, let's check out the next one. Here's a stadium. And the decay A is all the way up on that. Let's turn it down. Let's bring our level up. Alright, that sounds good. Here's room. So this one's going to give you more of like a, it can give you more of a slap back sound. Kind of that shorter decay. I was actually mimicking AC/DC, Shake Me All Night Long song the other night on my Headrush, and I noticed that Angus's guitar definitely had this roomy element to the overall sound. So that's how I decided to dial it in. That sounds pretty good. I like that. And we're on Hall. And gotta remember to press the preset button. Let's turn the level up. Alright, let's go on to, let's see what the power thing does. So we got a vintage Marshall 30 watt. There's a British Class A, AB. So this is basically mimicking the power section of an amp. So you got presence and resonance. We can try that out. Because if you drive the power section of an amp, if I take this volume knob and cranked it, and turn down my master, okay, not bad. And you may want to do that, especially if you're getting some cleaner tones, just cranking up the volume, setting your gain to where the level of clean tone you want, and then just set your master. So sounds pretty good. Let's try some different ones. British Class A. Yeah, that had a lot more bass to it. Here's American Class AB. It's a little more rolled off in the lows. Classic Marshall 100 watt. And we're back to vintage Marshall. I kind of like the... let's do the Class AB. Let's say I was going for that Fenderish kind of tone. Alright, let's mess with the cab then. So we got a 1936 vintage, 1972, 1974, 1960, 1960V, 1960X, 93, there's a bunch. There's a bunch of different options. Let's just scroll through some. So crisper sounding, more mid-range, still more mid-range. Alright, that's cool. I'm going to stick with that one. Let's check out the delay and the types. We have studio, vintage, multi, reverse, and that's it. Let's check out the studio then. Alright, if I press and hold these two buttons, it's going to give me a tap tempo time. So if I use the edit button, I can tap that in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hear that? Let me press and hold the delay time again. Let's set the level up a little bit. Alright, let's go back to feedback. So it just changes the amount of repeats. And frequency is going to either give you a bright delay or it can give you a dark delay. Alright, let's keep it just in the middle there. And let's check out the vintage. And let's check out the multi. Alright, let's go over to the tap. We can change the amount of taps we have. Here's 3. And here's 2. Alright. That's cool. And then there's the reverse. Let's turn the level up here. Alright, not bad. But let's just keep it on studio. And let's turn the level down just a little bit. Alright, let's check out mod. I do love me some tremolo. There's some chorus, flange, phase, and tremolo. Alright, so there's 4 options there. We got a valve tremolo, or we got a square. Let's stick with valve. Let's make the speed a little slow. Actually, let's speed up. And the depth. Make it really deep. Alright, I like the sound of that. Very nice. And there is a foot switch that comes with this. You can also do Bluetooth, or you can plug in some headphones for a silent practice. And there's also a USB cable right here, so you can hook it up to a computer. Probably you can back up and store your presets, and maybe even add some other presets from other people. Who knows? But that's basically going through how to make a preset, or how to make your own little patch. Let's go ahead and hold to store. I definitely want. Okay, there we go. So you have to hold it, then you have to hold it again. Let's see if I can figure this out. All right, so the preset knob goes from the different characters, or the different placements, and the edit actually changes the character. So let's just say this is going to be go back. I'm going to figure this out. D-O. C. You know what I'm doing. Here we are. Doctor version 2. That works for me. Let's press and hold. And it says it's stored. So if we go to a different preset, then we go back. Bam, there's my preset. So alright guys, there you go. I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.